to the Pacific Northwest. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. We're in Seattle for this Thursday night tilt. Little Pac-12 After Dark for you from Alaska Airlines Arena. Stanford, Washington tonight. As this place is buzzing with energy for this matchup. It's pivotal because you look at the Pac-12 standings. Keep in mind the top 4 teams get a bye into the quarterfinals at the Pac-12 tournament. Stanford just a game behind Oregon and UCLA. And Washington trying to make a surge here as we head toward March. Along with Adrian Branch and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. And AB, we got 2 teams that love to get up and down the floor. Stanford, one of the elite shooting teams in America. Washington, second in the Pac-12 in scoring.
Yeah, it's interesting right now. Styles make the fight for Washington. They believe if they can get early offense before defense gets set, that bodes well for them. And then for Stanford, they're alone when they can move the ball side to side.
Well, Maxime Reynaud is one of the most improved players, not only in the Pac-12, but in the country. The Stanford big man has really developed his game.
It's a heck of a thing with confidence. He's 7'1" and impacting the game.
And on the other side, the chore for Stanford, how do you slow down the Pac-12 leading scorer in Keon Brooks Jr.?
Well, I like what his coach Hopkins said. One of the greatest compliments for him is he's a worker. That's why his stats are legit. He's going to be a problem this game.
Home whites for the Huskies and the throwback Cardinal uniforms for Stanford tonight. It brought them some good luck last Saturday at Maples Pavilion. They wore these uniforms and they blew out USC. Adrian, you were there for it. Stanford scored 99 points. They made a school record 19 threes in the game.
Yeah, as they were saying in the building, a throwback performance with a throwback look. They want to capture the magic again. This should be a great game, Rox.
Maxime Reynaud to jump against the 7-1 Braxton Mia of Washington. Our officials tonight, Brooks Wells, Kip Kissinger, and Bert Smith. And Stanford wins the opening tip, and the freshman Kanan Carlisle controls. So Stanford 12-11, 7-6 in the conference. Washington 13-11 overall. And they're 5-8 in league play. Stanford coming off that record-setting performance against the Trojans, and the floater by Kanan Carlisle, who gets his own miss. And the kick out to Michael Jones, lines up a 3, in and out, and the rebound Braxton Mia for the Huskies.
Great shot attempts by Stanford on the road. They want to control the tempo. Both teams want to play the same way with controlling the tempo.
Starting 5 for the Huskies, who are still without their big man Frank Kepnall, as he has missed now the last 15 games with the knee injury. It's the same knee he injured and tore his ACL a year ago. Shot clock rolling down on UW. Paul Mulcahy on the drive. And a tough follow-away blocked by Spencer Jones, and Stanford controls.
Good job by Spencer Jones. He's known as a historic three-point shooter in this program, but he will sit down and try to defend.
The lob over the top to Maxime Reynaud.
We're going to need a stat for how many lobs both of these big guys should get in this game, because both teams want to do the same thing. Throw it to the rim for both of their 7-footers.
Moses Wood with the air ball on the 3, and its last touch by Stanford will stay at this end, and a UW ball.
Rox, you're on the road. You're talking about that 4 seat right there. Nice job with the block, moving their feet. And then how about turning the table? This is a play they run for Reynaud, the big Frenchman, with strong finish.
Xavier Wheeler, who leads the Pac-12 in assists and the NCAA active assist leader. And the ball stripped from Keon Brooks Jr. Michael Jones racing up the floor. Triple team somehow wiggles out of it. Maxime Reynaud from deep. And the rebound Braxton Mia for the Huskies.
So far, Stanford has had 2 good looks. Hadn't had a bad shot yet. And I like what the Huskies are doing. They want to spread the floor because they believe they have the quicker foot speed. On the maroon jerseys, what's the color?
Cardinal.
Cardinal?
Xavier Wheeler had a clean look, and the rebound Brandon Angel for Stanford.
Oh, that's in the name.
Yes. They don't make it confusing for you.
I thought it was a bird. I thought it was a bird. Sorry, Cardinal fans.
Spencer Jones, the drop-off. Maxime Reynaud in a reach, and Paul Mulcahy of Washington the foul. The grad transfer from Rutgers is Jared Haas, the Stanford head coach, a former guard at both Cal and Kansas.
Well, so believable. Aren't they the leaders? When you get a chance to talk with Coach Haas and talking about more than basketball, but life and the big picture, absolute believable.
And a steal for Moses Wood. Here comes UW. Xavier Wheeler on the drive. Paul Mulcahy spots up from the corner. That's a long two. His foot was on the line, and we're tied at 2.
Wonderful job by Wheeler, just drawing the defense in long enough to draw 2 defenders and pass it off to the open shooter.
The shovel to Maxime Reynaud, who flips it in.
Now, you're going to have to be stingier for the Huskies because you can't give up straight line drives for a dump off.
And now Stanford showing a zone this trip down, which used to be a staple for Mike Hopkins and the Huskies. They have gone primarily man-to-man this year. Paul Mulcahy missing on the drive, and it's tipped out to Kanan Carlisle. Stanford has numbers.
Nice, same thing, driving kick, beautiful.
Michael Jones missing a 3. Kanan Carlisle runs it down, and Carlisle missing in the key. And Braxton Mia grabs it for the Huskies. Xavier Wheeler rolls off, and the rebound Maxime Reynaud for Stanford.
Now Washington has had a lid on it, 1 for 5, but again right now, Rocks, both teams are getting good shots. One is 2 for 7, another one 1 for 6.
Spencer Jones, and he traveled, and that's a Stanford turnover. Mike Hopkins, the head coach of the Huskies, already twice has been named Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Year 7 in Seattle for Coach Hop.
Yeah, I came in and said it's a year 5. I mean, where did I go? Rip Van Winkle, but all of a sudden, it happens quick, Rocks.
COVID threw everybody off.
Yeah, it happened quick. Man, I'm 0 for 2 right now. Didn't know the years and didn't know the colors. What the heck is Stanford, man? Let's leave red, gold, green, white, purple.
Cardinal.
Okay. Nobody likes a know-it-all, Rocks.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh,
nice move. Paul Mulcahy to Braxton Mia.
Nice, nice. The hesitation, breaking down the defense, and then the dump off for the big. Now, both teams are aware of the strengths of their 7-footers. Both of them can finish around the rim.
It's the second meeting between these two teams. Stanford won last month at Maples Pavilion 90-80. As Stanford in that game, the Cardinal were 13 for 24 from 3 as Kanan Carlisle's first points.
Going to a zone now. Going to try to slow it down. Remember that Stanford wants to do the same thing. They want to get their defense set before the Huskies get out in the open floor.
In that first meeting, Spencer Jones had a career-high 30. He went 8 for 12 from 3.
Same type play.
Nice finish by Paul Mulcahy for the Huskies.
Same time. This time Mulcahy finished himself. The play earlier showed the ball for a dump off.
It's a good sign for Washington as Mulcahy has struggled the last 3 games coming in. He's off to a good start here tonight. And a foul on Keon Brooks Jr. of the Huskies. And the second team foul on UW. We're tied at 6 early in Seattle.
Good start. Washington Huskies want to take advantage. I love this drive and then unselfish play. I think this is going to be a 40-minute tilt. Rocks, put your seatbelt on, sir.
Tied at 6, 14:45 to go first half in Seattle. Stanford 3-pointers. We talked about it, Adrian. The school record 19 threes against USC, but they also hit 16 threes. At that time was a program record when they upset Arizona earlier this season.
Yeah, I was privileged to have the best seat in the house. They were aggressive, and most of those points, Rocks, were off of assists. They were on fire. I'm going to be very interested to see the carryover effect, especially the mindset of being aggressive in this game.
19 for 38 from 3 against USC. And the 19 threes ties the most made in a college game this season. And you mentioned the assist. They had 23 assists against the Trojans in that game. Stanford is 15th in the country, almost 18 assists a game. They're 9th in the country in 3-point shooting at over 39%. Kanan Carlisle missing at 3, but Maxime Reynaud the offensive rebound.
Well, and you said it best, Rox, earlier in shoot around. You said both teams, when both teams are on their A game, they can beat anyone in the country. And USC was trying on that game. They were just giving them the business.
And an offensive foul on Andre Stojakovic, the freshman, who bumped into Corin Johnson, and a Stanford giveaway.
Well, one thing you notice about Andre, first of all, he's a legit 6'7". His dad's 6'10" and happens to be here tonight as well. But he's got the it factor. He wants to be good. He's a worker. He's paying his dues. He's going to be a great player in this program.
Coming off a career-high 20 in that win against USC as Corin Johnson lost the ball momentarily, recovered, and he gets the roll, and Washington has their first lead.
What I'm seeing right now is the Cardinals giving up too many straight-line drives.
Brandon Angel in the corner for three.
I told Brandon he reminds me of Rui Hachimura. Same kind of body type. He can score at 3 levels and just flows. He says, I want to be efficient like these guys. In other words, I want to get paid like these guys, too.
You brought up an interesting comp to Jared Haas for Brandon Angel. Oscar Da Silva, the former Stanford standout.
Love them, love everything about them. You never know in their body language if they're up by 20 or down by 20 and can score at 3 levels. What else are you looking for? Super intelligent, super coachable. My goodness, it's a lot to love in all those comps, Rox.
Stanford up 1. Here is Maxime Reynaud launching a 3. And the second 3 for the Cardinal. Reynaud is a 43% three-point shooter.
Well, what you're seeing is midseason form right now. Again, my question was the very next game, would Stanford be aggressive? When they're able to make shots, you can see them get back into this 2-3 zone.
They make just under 10 threes a game. And the crazy number, Adrian, in Pac-12 play, they're shooting 43% from 3.
Veteran team, well coached, you are what you emphasize.
Corin Johnson has his shot knocked out of bounds. And Jared Haas in disbelief, saying we never touched it.
I want to say, Coach, graciously, I think that was blocked. I want to say that.
Jared Haas, trying to plead his case, went to all 3 officials.
Let's see this one. I think that was blocked. Yeah, that was blocked.
The Washington ball. Off the inbound, Keon Brooks Jr. missing the 3. Maxime Reynaud grabs his 4th rebound, and Benny Gieler pushes.
The Fighting Roxy. We're going to hear that tonight, Rox. We're going to hear, folks, if Roxy Bernstein was out there, this is what he would look like. The little train that could. He's the Fighting Rox.
Benny Gieler has never been so insulted in his life. Maxime Reynaud with the left hand. He has 9, and the Stanford Cardinal are up 14-8.
Yeah, you know what? The carryover, Rock. Success feels good. And so there's no hesitation right now for Maxine's game.
8-0 run. Wide open, Corin Johnson. In and out on the 3. Reynaud the rebound. Here comes Benny Gieler. He was given a scholarship prior to this season by Jared Haas. Came to Stanford initially as a walk-on as Maxime Reynaud drives the lane. And it's Stanford 16-8 and Reynaud with 11.
Well, it's the Reynaud show right now. We talked about him in the open. He's a 3-level scorer. Right now, look at the efficiency, 5 for 6. We should see a 3-point shot. His feet are set. This is against a good defender. Knocking it down, 7'1", and then showing the ball and going. A thing of beauty.
On a 10-0 run, fueled by Maxime Reynaud. He has 11 of Stanford's 16 points, and Washington right now, Adrian, has no answer for Maxime Reynaud.
Yeah, it starts right there with a slam dunk over a great defender, all defensive player in Braxton Mia last season, and then mixing up the offense. That's a thing of beauty right there. Left hand, right hand, confidence, midseason form. They're riding his back.
Reynaud averages 15 points, 10 rebounds a game. Leading Stanford in both categories. In fact, Stanford's one of 14 teams in the country where all 5 starters average in double figures. And Reynaud, a force early here, and you can't help but wonder if things would be different for Washington if they had Frank Kepnall available.
Oh my goodness, there's a stat. I don't know if we can show that eventually with and without him.
Corin Johnson a 3 and a foul underneath, off the ball. Kip Kissinger says count the 3 for Corin Johnson. And there's a foul against Stanford.
Well, Washington is...
No, it's against Washington.
Yeah, Washington is getting open looks. That is about the 3rd open look and straight line drive that Stanford has given up. So Washington is still attached to this game, though it's been a choppy start for them.
So give the 3 to Corin Johnson. It's Benny Geeler darts to the basket. And wave it off, basket interference against Stanford. And we're going the other way, a Washington ball. They called the foul, by the way, on Wilhelm Breidenbach the last time down for Washington.
See this drive right here? Nice drive by Benny with the angle. I could have gone either way. Good call. Big guys attacking the basket.
Paul Mulcahy, a 3 for the Huskies. Back-to-back threes, UW within 2.
Did everything right. Took his time in rhythm. You practice that step back every day. Good matchup.
Brandon Angel, how about that spin move on the baseline?
Nice hesitation.
You know what that spin move reminded me of? A guy that you used to play with the Lakers.
James Worthy?
You got it.
Big game, James. That was quick.
That was James Worthy's bread and butter, right?
Oh, that reverse, that spin, that quick step. He had a lightning quick step. Good call, Rocks.
Maxime Renaud clears the miss of Anthony Holland, and a foul in Washington. And it's the second on Wilhelm Breidenbach. College basketball Saturday we have for you on ESPN. Featured matchups coming up. Number 9 Duke and Florida State. At 2 Eastern, then it's number 6 Kansas and number 25 Oklahoma. 22 Kentucky going to the Plains to take on Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers in a Sonic blockbuster. Another great afternoon of hoops coming up Saturday on ESPN.
Hoops got it all to their self now that the NFL is finished.
Pitchers and catchers are reporting, so baseball's getting ready to start.
Get ready to start. Get ready to start.
James Keefe checks in for Stanford.
I got 3 teams, the Evil Empire, Yankees.
Benny Geeler missing the 3. Corin Johnson the rebound for UW.
This is what Washington wants to do, out front.
Offensive foul, Braxton Mia shoving Brandon Angel to the deck, trying to post up inside. And that will go as a Washington turnover.
Well, he was open, and then you weren't able to get him quickly. So when you get a big running the floor, right here, he's open, you got to give him the ball, then that elbow gets too high. It's a good call.
18-14 Stanford.
Rocks, think about this. Washington really has not gotten untracked yet, hadn't gotten in sync, in rhythm, and yet they're only down by 4. Stanford is playing with a connectedness. They're unified, they're in sync, and Washington still hadn't made a run yet. This is Stanford at their best. They probe, they attack, they share the basketball, look for a mismatch.
Spencer Jones rims out of 3, and Keon Brooks tracks it down. And Brooks has yet to score, by the way. The Pac-12 leading scorer, Corin Johnson, darting to the basket. What a quick burst by Corin Johnson.
That's where they believe they have the advantage in foot speed. Outside of Kanan Carlisle, they want to attack the matchups.
Over the top to James Keefe, and Stanford turns it over. 5 turnovers by the Cardinal now.
Now, Johnson has been in the flow. Nice, easy rhythm. He knocked down a 3-point shot. And then the quickness, the game of angles, being able to get inside the lane and finish, strong finish.
Here's Brooks in the lane. Fall away shot, and a long rebound tracked down by James Keefe, who defended Brooks.
That's a good shot. Your leading scorer, you want to get him going. That's a makeable shot. 5 feet from the basket.
Kanan Carlisle, that's a tough shot. Well challenged by Corin Johnson, and Kanan Carlisle the bucket.
Now they got to get that string finished, the nets. They're stopping like it's a summer league game. You got to pat the ball down. Come on, man. This is major Division I.
It's the home court advantage. They're trying to slow Stanford down.
Oh, nice. I didn't think about that. Plausible. Plausible, especially in the second half.
Here's Brooks. Off balance, throw the foul, will get to the line. It's on James Keefe for the Cardinal.
I love what Coach Hopkins said about Keon Brooks. He said he's a worker. He's put the time in. He's a legitimate 20-point-per-game scorer. Watch this off the dribble. Then come in. He's a leaper. He can finish, but what a compliment for him.
Keon Brooks Jr., 79% foul shooting. He's really worked hard in improving his percentages, not just from the line, but from the three-point line as well this year.
A worker. Would you like to know what Lefty Drizel said about me my senior year?
I would love to know what Lefty said about you. Is it suitable for air?
If that's the part suitable. He's like, man, he crazy. He crazy. I got an uncle like that. You're going to be in one of them funny places, son, if you don't get your act together. Oh.
Keon Brooks closing in on 1,700 career points. Between his career at Kentucky and Washington, Brooks now with 1,698 career.
I like that one. Congratulations. That's a lot of scoring. He's having a great year. And now they're able to set the trap. This is the first time we're seeing a trap.
Stanford handles the full court pressure. Stanford going with 2 point guards now on the floor with Kanan Carlisle and Benny Giler out there together.
There's been no answer for Ray No in the first part of this first half.
Benny Giler lines it up.
Got fouled.
And he was trying to plead his case to Bird Smith, who wasn't biting.
He got fouled on that shot.
Stanford just 2 of 9 from 3 is Koren Johnson off balance and one. Koren Johnson with the roll. What a start for Koren Johnson.
Koren Johnson impacting the game, coming off, and watch this right now, the concentration. Wonderful start for this young man.
Tied at 20, 7:42 to go first half as UW was down 8. They've now pulled even thanks to Koren Johnson off the Washington bench. History, by the way, tonight in the women's game. Caitlin Clark, she needed 8. Adrian, she's got 42 tonight for Iowa. And well over 3,500 career points now for Caitlin Clark.
They tell her the right math.
And she broke the record of a former Washington Husky. Kelsey Plum.
Yes.
Who did it on this court back in February of 2017 when she had 57 in a game against Utah.
Wow. So that's current history. This is not like 40 or 50 year ago records. This is current history.
And speaking of the women's game, we had our first reveal tonight for the women's tournament. On the one line, Stanford, Tara Vanderveer, who just recently became the all-time winningest coach in the history of college basketball. But Stanford on the one line, as is Colorado. The second reveal for the women's will come up in a couple of weeks there at the end of the month. But the Pac-12 having a banner season in women's basketball. They're at the monitor checking something here from that last sequence. And by the way, so both Stanford and Colorado, J.R. Payne's team on the one line. Corey Close and UCLA, they were on the 2 line, and Juju Watkins, the standout freshman for USC. Lindsey Gottlieb's team USC on the 3 line with Oregon State. They've been playing great basketball recently, Oregon State.
Who you got? Just for basketball for dummies, who you got? Who would you be comfortable outside of South Carolina and Stanford?
You taking South Carolina or you taking the field?
Yeah, there you go. What you got? What you got? If you were
South Carolina's pretty good.
I like to see Iowa again in the Final Four. I want to see Caitlin against anybody.
Both coaches are getting an explanation right now on that last sequence. Brooks Wells, Kip Kissinger, Bird Smith. So Spencer Jones with a contact technical. So that will also go as a personal foul. So there'll be free throws for Washington. Koren Johnson will get an and-one free throw as well. And so they're pulling the players out of the lane. And after the play, watch 14 in Cardinal. Spencer Jones right there with Braxton Mia. And
yeah, it's unnecessary. That's a good call. Good call.
So the shot was missed by Johnson for the and one free throw. And now stepping up to the line, it is Keon Brooks Jr. to shoot the technical.
Yeah, and you don't want to give away easy baskets because this could be a close game. So you don't want to give away any easy possessions.
So Keon Brooks nails both. And he's now at 1,700 career points for his career.
It's a lot of scoring, being consistent. Well, even with Jones, even with Spencer Jones, he's what, 7 3-pointers away from Stanford's all-time three-point make. So got some history coming.
And off the inbound, Keon Brooks, his first field goal.
Saw that whole play, Rox. It was eye contact without moving, drawing attention to him. Saw that entire play. You got to keep a body on him and root him out.
Brandon Angel to the basket. He'll draw a foul, the second on Brooks.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup on him because they're going to need Brooks throughout this game to score and impact him. But again, you look at Stanford, they're not waiting around to attack. Nice job by Brandon Angel to draw 2 fouls on Keon.
So Brandon Angel, 5 points so far. And Angel, one of those unique combinations, has a chance for 50, 40, 90. In terms of 50% overall from the floor, 40% from three, and 90 from the foul line. He's 58% from the field, 47% from three, and 87% from the line as he hits both.
And then tell about the academic part there. He's
a 4.0 student.
Yeah, with Oscar De Silva. Tell about that one, Rox. I mean, just a brilliant
Brandon
young man.
Angel's an academic All-American, a 4.0 GPA. He's doing his honors thesis on the impact of school closures.
Yeah. I mean, just a complete student athlete.
Maxime Renaud blocks the shot of Paul Mulcahy. Here comes Benny Geeler. Michael Jones.
Great ball movement.
Brandon Angel rattles in a three.
Great ball movement. It started with Benny pushing the tempo, then moving the ball on both sides, and then probing to find an open shooter. You're seeing both teams playing in mid-season form. This is a good game, Rox.
Angel with 10. Xavier Wheeler in the key. Five to shoot. Paul Mulcahy launching. And the rebound grabbed by Stanford. Here comes Benny Geeler.
You got to find Renaud. There's a mismatch in the post.
Open is Brandon Angel. Had a clean look in transition. Paul Mulcahy the rebound. He looks to push it.
Neither team is taking a bad shot this game. You are what you emphasize. Both coaches believe in playing the right way, being connected, playing for each other.
Xavier Wheeler with his first points of the night.
Second leading scorer, 15 points a game, a healthy 6 assists. Now, if I'm watching him, he can get loose at times with 3 turnovers. It's too many turnovers.
Open is Brandon Angel. Missed another clean look. Here comes Wheeler pushing. Gets inside. And the scoop with the left hand by Xavier Wheeler.
You get any kind of angle or shoulders getting past the hips of a defender. That's an open lane for him.
Back and forth we go.
Look at the field goals, identical, 11 for 23.
Michael Jones tries to power his way up, and he threw up a wild shot. Was well closed out by Moses Wood.
See him trying to wall up, not trying to give the lane open for Wheeler.
And a steal by Benny Geeler. Kanan Carlisle fires. And a foul will stay at this end. Anthony Holland shoving Maxime Renaud out of the way. First on Anthony Holland. Sunday on ABC, the #1 South Carolina women, the nation's only unbeaten Division I team, hosting Georgia at 1 Eastern. The College Game Day crew tips off our coverage from Columbia at noon. And then #1 South Carolina and Georgia. Big day of women's hoops with game day on site there in South Carolina. So Anthony Holland, that's the 7th team foul on UW. And Maxime Reynaud, 78% foul shooter, a 1-and-1 here for Stanford.
Rocks, right now, this game has been polite. Both teams have been taking shots. Remember the Rock?
We saw technical.
The Rock and Sock'em robots. Remember when guys would punch themselves with their little toy, and then one boxer head would be like spring up. I think they're going to let it hang out more in the second half, where you'll get a little more separation. Both teams are getting what they want. They're identical. 11 for 23 from the field. Reynaud has impacted the game early on. Wheeler has come back and been able to get inside the lane. So this has been a polite first half.
And Maxime Reynaud hits both, and Stanford seesaws in front. Big first half for the big man of the Cardinal. And now the zone again for Stanford. Xavier Wheeler steps inside the arc, and the rebound. Maxime Reynaud pulls down his 8th rebound already. He is 2nd in the Pac-12 in rebounding. Cal's big man Fardaws Aimaq leads the Pac-12 in boards. Spencer Jones launching, and the rebound batted around, and Moses Wood comes out of the pack with it for the Huskies. But then an errant pass and a turnover by Washington.
That hurts. That hurts because, again, for both teams, you still don't want to give away possessions. You want to put pressure on your opponent. Like tennis, unforced errors. You know, Venus and Serena would just drive themselves nuts after the game, looking at their stats and saying, I had 23 unforced errors. That was an unforced error.
Oh, believe me, I know what unforced errors are.
Okay, Rocks. Okay. Next you'll be Steve Urkel. Did I do that?
Maxime Reynaud missing down low.
I've been impressed with the shot selection on both teams, though. I've been impressed because both teams are really trying to challenge the three-point line. And when you see a good shot, it's usually because that's what a coach has emphasized.
Xavier Wheeler, drop off. Braxton Mia drops it in.
I would say that's a good shot, Rocks. Give it to your big guy to finish at the rim.
There's a reason why he's a 73% field goal shooter. We just saw it. Brandon Angel backing his way in. And using the window, Brandon Angel.
Can't speed him up. Plays at his own pace. Reminds me of Rui Hachimura, where he can score from the three-point line, off the dribble and posting up. Look at the ball movement. That's beautiful.
Moses Wood pulling up on the baseline. The rebound falls to Spencer Jones for the Cardinal.
You want to reward that effort right now. The Huskies have had so many point-blank range shots, and now you've got to defend for 21 seconds, both sides of the floor. See the Cardinal taking their time, looking for the mismatch. They want to get Brandon Angel again. He's been cooking.
Here he is. And that's an offensive foul. No, they're calling a block on Moses Wood. Wood called for the block that will send Brandon Angel to the line. And a 1-and-1 with Stanford in the bonus. We've had 6 ties, 8 lead changes, a tight one in Seattle.
All right, I'm going to give this to you, Rocks. What do you think? Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. What you think? We'll come back.
Stanford up 1, 2:48 to go first half in Seattle. NBA All-Star Weekend begins tomorrow in Indy with a celebrity game on ESPN and the ESPN app. Should be entertaining. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp are your head coaches for the celebrity game. Our coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific from Lucas Oil Stadium. Former Husky Nate Robinson was a slam dunk winner. Terrence Ross, speaking of former Huskies, also taking home the trophy for the slam dunk competition. Now, this guy wasn't in the slam dunk competition, but he was an all-star.
Three-point shooter.
Peja Stojakovic.
6'10", quick release.
He's here in Seattle watching his son Andre, the Stanford freshman.
Yeah, great player. I think, what, 16 years, Rocks?
He's in the league for a while.
Yeah.
1-1 for Brandon Angel. Stanford 4 for 4 from the line. And Angel now 3 for 3. Will get one more. Maxime Reynaud leads all scorers for Stanford with 15. Angel has 13. As you look, Stanford's only had 3 players score. Reynaud, Angel, and Kanan Carlisle.
Yeah, and to your point, they don't have any bench points right now. So the leading bench scorer has just come back in, Johnson. He's impacted the game.
And Corin Johnson leads Washington with 9. Paul Mulcahy has 7. While the Pac-12 leading scorer, Keon Brooks Jr. has 6. But he's on the bench with 2 fouls.
And you'll take that with Washington. You're playing at home. Again, you've still got 20 minutes to get out of this first half. There's been no separation in this game so far.
Stanford is led by as many as 8. Corin Johnson straight on. 3! Boy, what a first half for Corin Johnson. He's already got 12.
Set up again by Wheeler, being able to draw in the defender and give it just enough to get it to his open shooter.
Kanan Carlisle missing a 3. Stanford just 3 for 15 from long range. Here's Corin Johnson. And the kick out.
Got to play off of him some because he just wants to get a lane just to get it to a shooter.
And he nearly banked that one in and stole it from Brandon Angel. Corin Johnson will fall away.
There's been no answer for Johnson. He has been quick, on fire, but that's how you keep a lead.
Andre Stojakovic, the first bench points for Stanford.
Sure. Got to his spot, just like his dad years ago. Feet set, you're going the other way. He's going to be a good player in this program.
So when you come into a game and you're going over your scout report of Washington, and the guy that's #1 on your list you're trying to take away is Keon Brooks Jr. Then you look, Xavier Wheeler's got the ball now as the playmaker. Moses Wood is a terrific outside shooter. But Corin Johnson's a guy who's down the list. But now with his first half, do you need to adjust if you're Jared Hass?
Yeah, that's what the game is about, adjustments, game time. They'll go into halftime saying we've got to occupy and keep an eye on Johnson. But it starts with Wheeler. Wheeler has been able to beat his man to set up a passing lane.
Moses Wood blocks the shot of Brandon Angel. Xavier Wheeler darting ahead all the way to the basket, the finger roll.
Quickness under control, speed kills on the basketball court. You're seeing that in these plays, and that's why he's the leading assist man in conference.
Spencer Jones off the window, and the first points for Spencer Jones, who had the career-high 30 in Stanford's win against the Huskies down at Maples Pavilion earlier this year.
23 seconds left. Keep an eye on Wheeler, again trying to get an open probe, but Stanford has been able to answer quickly. Anytime Washington has got the lead in this first half, they've had an answer.
Stanford has some fouls to give if they want to use them. Here's Corin Johnson, who's had the hot hand. Johnson launching at the horn. 3!
Is he looking like an Eddie House, Isaiah Thomas of years ago, Pac-12 legends? Instant offense.
17 points in the first half for Corin Johnson. A first half that's had 13 lead changes, 7 ties. The Huskies up 2. The halftime report coming up next. Getting ready for the start of the second half in the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful Seattle, Washington. Huskies by 2. Corin Johnson, a 3 at the buzzer, giving UW the halftime lead. Along with Adrian Branch and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. And pretty much what we expected, AB. Up and down, fun first half.
Yeah, you know what? He's one of the quickest guys on the floor, and so he's taking advantage of these opportunities. Speed kills and speed kills under control. Let's see if he can do that again in the second half.
Well, Corin Johnson, when you think of Washington, you think of Keon Brooks Jr., he's the leading scorer. 17 off the bench in the first half for Corin Johnson.
Look at these opportunities. It's the three-point line and then going on the transition. I love this one there, showing the basketball, scoring before the defense gets set. And then this steal, he's in rhythm, Rocks. The obvious thing is he's been hard to guard.
7 for 10 from the floor in the first half. He made 3 threes. And Corin Johnson, with Keon Brooks Jr. picking up 2 early fouls, limited to 6 points in the first half. He's the guy that picked up the slack for the Huskies. Maxime Reynaud, 15 points, 9 rebounds to lead Stanford in the first half. But the Cardinal only 4 for 16 from 3.
Yeah, and you talk about 17 points off the bench. That's that young man right there. One-man fast break.
Stanford starts the second half in the zone. Xavier Wheeler down the lane. The scoop with the left hand. Maxime Reynaud clears another rebound. And here comes Corin Johnson, the speedy, or rather, Kanan Carlisle, the speedy freshman for Stanford, missing the floater. And Washington back the other way. Keon Brooks Jr., the deep 2.
I like the maturity of Keon, taking his time. He didn't get to his scoring average in the first half, but got a good shot in the second half, right off rhythm.
Spencer Jones missed a chippy, and Washington comes away with it. Huskies have matched their largest lead of the night. Moses Wood from deep. Rattles out the 3. Spencer Jones, the rebound for the Cardinal.
Now, Rocks, in the first half, every time the Huskies were able to get a score, Stanford had an answer. Let's see if they can do it again in the second half.
Spencer Jones misfires from deep. Here's Wheeler. Up and under. Xavier Wheeler spinning it in.
He's crafty. He reminds me of a left-handed Sam Cassell. In other words, he's not going to jump over top of you, but he's going to get an open lane for a shot. Tough shot.
Tough fall away, and Spencer Jones forcing that one.
That's out of character. Stanford doesn't take a lot of bad shots.
Keon Brooks glides in. Then he can't follow up his own miss. Maxime Reynaud the rebound. Wheeler takes it from Spencer Jones. And Xavier Wheeler draws the foul. And it's on Maxime Reynaud, and a carryover for Washington to start the second half.
Well, right now, Spencer can't get out of his own way, taking a quick shot, and then right there, getting it stripped. But watch this nice rhythm in the first half, and the second half getting started. And then Wheeler getting ready to deal her. I can't wait till Geeler comes out here. It's going to be a tough time for you out here.
Oh, boy, you're on a roll right now. Keon Brooks Jr. now in double digits with 10.
Talk about a roll. I'm here all week long. Ta-da-da.
Largest lead of the night for Washington. And the Huskies on a 6-0 run to start the second half. Brandon Angel had a clean look. And now to start, Jared has envisioned for the Cardinal in the second half. Xavier Wheeler right down the lane. Timeout Stanford, and Washington is up 10.
We talked about in the first half that I thought both teams were being polite. Now the home team with this 8-0 run, it's timely. This crowd has gotten involved.
11 straight if you go back to the first half for the Huskies.
Watch the quickness, get to the lane. Good job getting this lead and excitement at home.
If you go back 20 years, Will Conroy on the left and the right, and in the middle is Lorenzo Romar, the former Husky head coach, because Will Conroy led the Huskies to an upset of then #1 Stanford. Was the only regular season loss that year for the Cardinal right here in Seattle. And Will Conroy, who was one of the great point guards in Washington history, has been such an integral part of this program as a player, as a longtime assistant coach, has those deep Seattle roots.
Paid his dues, and he's been able to transition from being an excellent player to now an excellent coach. Nicely done.
The all-time assist leader in UW history as Brandon Angel has it broken up and stolen by Keon Brooks. He attacks. Brooks to the basket. And a steal. Paul Mulcahy off the inbound. Brooks again. What a sequence for Keon Brooks Jr. 12-0 run to start the second half.
Those 3 plays right there have impacted and made a statement on the rhythm of this second half. Wonderful job by the white jerseys being the aggressor.
Stanford in desperate need of a basket. And Maxime Renaud can't get the roll. And Braxton Mia secures it for UW.
Right now, Stanford is out of rhythm. They're a team that's based on moving the ball around 4 or 5 times, being hard to guard. But the open runouts have been able to get the Huskies scoring and getting this crowd involved.
And their defense has Stanford 0 for 7 from the floor in the second half. And the long 3 missed by Moses Wood, but Braxton Mia rips the offensive rebound away.
Right now, everything is being controlled by Washington. They're controlling the pace. They're controlling manipulating the defense. Let's see if they get an open shot.
Rebound, the 12th for Maxime Renaud. Stanford scoreless for over 4 minutes to start the second half.
Well, this is Stanford when they're at their best, when they are attacking, using both sides of the floor, being hard to guard.
Maxime Renaud. Finally, Stanford on the board here in the second half.
Go to your best player, your best weapon. He looked off a handoff and got to the scoring zone with the jump hook. Good game by Maxime. 17 points, 7 for 10, only missed 3 shots.
And a foul on Stanford off the ball, trying to deny Braxton Mia. But it is all Washington to start the second half.
They have helped themselves coming out. It started with the jumper by their leading scorer, Brooks. And then he's pushed the pedal to the metal. Watch this right there. Bang! He's able to do that one. Then the steal coming down again. The focus to be young with those kind of legs. Enjoy it, young man. Bang!
Well, Washington has come out blistering from the locker room, outscoring Stanford AB 12-2 to start the second 20 minutes.
It started on that shot right there, Rocks, and then their 2 leading scorers, Wheeler being able to impact the game, and Brooks with the steal. It's like they had another gear, and they've been the aggressor in this half. That's right there, a thing of beauty.
Michael Jones with a steal off the inbound for Stanford. What do you need to see from the Cardinal to get it turned back around?
Well, that was a start right there. One, you need a steal, so they were able to do that. Now they've got to get effective offense, which they're capable of doing, or getting to the free throw line.
Andrei Stojakovic bumped. Second foul on Moses Wood of Washington.
Yeah, you don't want to be outworked, Rocks, and then have to play catch up for the next 16 minutes. So Washington established themselves with a double-digit lead. Stanford had a hockey lane change. Now a lot of the starters are out. Coach Haas wants to still stay attached to this game.
And Washington steals the inbound. Wheeler leading Corin Johnson.
This is what makes the Pac-12 such an effective league. You've got great players making great plays, and it's hard to get an established rhythm on what you're doing. You're seeing Washington come out in the second half on fire on both ends of the floor.
Notice how quickly they double Maxime Renaud in the post. Trying to back his way in against Wilhelm Breidenbach. Missing with the left hand. Keon Brooks Jr. rips the rebound. Here come the Huskies. And Xavier Wheeler lost it out of bounds.
That's the one thing about Wheeler. He's too loose with that basketball. He gets 6 assists a game, but this is already his 4th turnover. Too many turnovers. But this is what they want to do. Nice pass, sticking the landing. 80 points a game, and a lot of it is because of transition.
19 for Corin Johnson off the bench tonight. Michael Jones, nice find, and Maxime Renaud missing at the rim.
Got to go up and dunk that one. Open lane, 7'1", he's able to dunk it.
And now the steal and the foul. It's on Corin Johnson, his first. And Maxime Renaud trying to shake the cobwebs out. First on Corin Johnson. But Stanford with just 2 points in the first 6:22 of the second half.
You see him right there, Coach Hopkins making the adjustment. 1 for 10 for Stanford in that second half.
And the first foul on Xavier Wheeler.
And Wheeler's pushing up and trying to disrupt the rhythm of Stanford. That's intentional. Remember, Coach Hopkins said they're a rhythm team, and they want to try to disrupt the flow of it.
They're getting up in Stanford. Michael Jones along the baseline. First points of the night for Michael Jones.
Well, they play the right way. You just don't want to play catch up. And you've got to have an answer. In the first half, they were able to give an answer every time Washington made a run. So far in the early going in the second half, it's been few and far between.
Corin Johnson attacks. Spins out. Brandon Angel the rebound. Here comes Stanford.
Let's see if Renaud gets a touch again. Brandon Angel again. Nice.
The reverse lay-in. Maxime Renaud with 19.
Rox, you usually are attached to this. I'm looking forward to the Pac-12 tournament. I want to see all of these teams on a neutral site. I think it'll be anyone's tournament. I would almost pick the field. I wouldn't pick like the favorite just going in.
You wouldn't just pick Arizona.
It's anybody's game in the Pac-12 tournament.
Xavier Wheeler, the pull-up.
Wheeler now is making that shot. Remember, in the first half, he missed a couple of them, but he didn't hesitate.
Maxime Renaud. And Keon Brooks Jr. the rebound. Long outlet, just too far for Paul Mulcahy. Stanford ball on the other side, but the Huskies up double digits on Stanford. Well, the uniforms for Washington coming up on Saturday when the Huskies host Cal right here at Alaska Airlines Arena. These are the shooting shirts they wore tonight prior to the game with Stanford, but the uniforms on Saturday are designed to honor the black community by showing love and acknowledgement to black leaders and influencers of today and tomorrow. It was chosen to show appreciation and gratitude for black culture and the achievements of black individuals. So Washington will wear those special uniforms on Saturday when they host Cal right here.
Amen. Got no problem with that. Thank you for remembering history and be the change you want to see.
Speaking of change, and with it being Black History Month, we should make mention of Spencer Jones and his family, as significance for his grandfather, Dr. Herman Jones, as Brandon Angel missing from deep, and the rebound Braxton Mia. But Herman Jones, Dr. Herman Jones, was the first black surgeon at an integrated hospital in Kansas City, the grandfather of Spencer Jones of Stanford.
And you look at what Spencer is doing now. His grandson is representing his family and continuing on the legacy of effectiveness. Great story.
And trying to defend Keon Brooks Jr. The drop off. Paul Mulcahy double clutches, left it short. Here comes Stanford.
Got numbers too, 4 and 5.
Penny Gila recovers. Andre Stojakovic left open. Buries a three for the Cardinal.
Poise.
Second three for Stojakovic.
Poise, showing poise, taking their time. They had the numbers, Rox, and I like the look-off ball fake. Feet set, knocking it down.
And a timeout for Mike Hopkins, a 30, as Stanford has trimmed it to single digits. 9-point Washington lead with just over 11 to go. 30-second timeout for UW.
Pan pizza is Domino's best-kept secret. It's handmade with fresh, never-frozen dough, has 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust that's golden and crispy. Well, consider the secret out. Order your favorite pan pizza or try it today for the first time at Domino's.
It has always been a dream for me to design an engagement jewelry collection. Together, these rings are a perfect pair, bound together forever, just like a bride and her one true love. They are the most powerful symbol of love that exists.
Well, a quick burst by Stanford and a three from Andrei Stojakovic, and the freshman has pulled Stanford to within 9 with 11:03 to go.
The easy statement is you're playing the right way, but look at the ball movement. He's a shooter. I love that ball fake. He's set, knocking down that shot with confidence. That's a carryover from the game he just had as well, the last time they played UFC.
He had a career high 20 against the Trojans in that game and hit 4 threes. And again, Stanford a school record 19 threes against the Trojans. Koren Johnson continues his blistering night. 21. He had a career high 25 in their opener this year against Bellarmine.
Rocks, that's an easy 21 as well. He's not straining the offense, not jacking up bad shots. Got an easy flow. That's a makeable shot.
And missing the three is Stojakovic. Here comes Xavier Wheeler for the Huskies. Backing his way in against Benny Gieler.
Now he's looking either for a shot or for a teammate. Right there, he just wants to suck you in.
Feed the hot hand. 24 for Koren Johnson. 4 threes for Johnson tonight.
You've got to recognize what Wheeler wants to do. He wants to play chess when everyone else is playing checkers.
Washington has matched their largest lead.
Nice
Brandon
ball fake.
Angel, and a foul in Washington.
Good ball fake coming in. But watch Wheeler. All he wants to do is suck you in, draw you in, and get it out to the shooter. Now Andre's got to be aware that Johnson has been effective. Got to know the game plan.
Brandon Angel, 2 free throws. The foul was on Xavier Wheeler. And Angel 4 for 4 from the line. 14 points and 4 boards for the senior Angel. And one more coming. College basketball Saturday. We have a great Saturday planned for you. These featured matchups: number 9 Duke and Florida State at 2 Eastern. Then from Norman, number 6 Kansas, 25th ranked Oklahoma, and then number 22 Kentucky. Going into the jungle to take on number 13 Auburn. Sonic blockbuster. Another great afternoon of hoops coming up on Saturday.
First time we're seeing a half-court trap. Again, one to slow down the rhythm of the Huskies. Smaller lineup out there as well. Brandon Angel now playing the 5, the center position.
And it continues for Washington. Moses Wood hits a 3. His first points tonight.
Well, everyone is feeding off of each other right now. You look at for Washington, they've got 10 assists and shooting them really good. 6 for 17 from the 3-point line.
Benny Gieler a 3 for the Cardinal. His first points of the game.
How about the resolve of Benny coming down? Again, Rocks, it's timely baskets. You don't want to have cosmetic baskets. You get a guy that's had 20 points, but did he impact the game? These are meaningful baskets.
And the hot streak continues for Washington. Keon Brooks Jr. Boy, the Huskies are scorching. And a foul, we're going the other way. Kanan Carlisle.
We got the 3 quickest guys out on the floor, 4 actually, beating them to the spot. Now both offenses are getting what they want. Knocking down the shot, 3-pointer. Then Brooks coming in here, too easy. Coaching staff won't be happy for the Cardinal with that. Those are too easy.
Washington 60% from the floor in the second half. They're holding Stanford at just 5 of 18.
Well, you can see that in the first half. It's like they had another gear that they didn't kick it into motion. Tough shot.
Wild shot from Xavier Wheeler. 14th rebound for Maxime Renaud.
So you got the 4 fastest guys on the floor. Gieler pretty quick. Wheeler pretty quick. Kanan Carlisle. Johnson. A lot of speed out there.
Deep 3 from Benny Gieler. And the rebound, Braxton Mia for Washington. 11 boards for Mia tonight. Wheeler.
Yeah, I'd give him that. Until you can beat me, he does more damage inside the paint. If he can hit you at the 3-point line, you give him that one if you got to give up something.
Wheeler spinning. At the end of the shot clock, Xavier Wheeler.
14 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He's made his presence felt in this game, Rocks.
Washington has opened up a 16-point lead. Both teams trying to get their momentum going, heading toward the Pac-12 tournament. So the updated Pac-12 standings, again, the top 4 teams will get buys into the quarterfinals as we head toward T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. And UCLA in a tight one, up 2 on Colorado at Pauley Pavilion right now. And those are the teams that are right there, and you can see how tightly contested this race is going to be here down the stretch.
Yeah, everyone is playing for something. Even Stanford, they want to get back in it. This is a meaningful game. Washington wants to continue to build momentum. They're playing the right way. I know that's an oversimplified statement, but what I mean is they're sharing the basketball. They're trying to defend at a high level. Nice
Andre Stojakovic tries to attack the rim, and he lost the ball going toward the rim.
It looked like he was indecisive whether to lay it up or going for a slam dunk. He's a deceiving athlete.
But the second half, it has been all Washington. It seemed that 3 to end the first half by Corin Johnson really swung the momentum UW's way.
Absolutely, they doubled them up. So right now, Stanford has only scored 14 points. Washington 28 points, and that's where you've got the separation. Now 7 minutes left. They got themselves a turnover. Let's see if they can get a high percentage shot, Rocks.
And you know, Stanford's got that ability to go on a 3-point barrage, one of the best shooting teams in America. Although tonight, it's just 6 for 24 from outside the arc for Stanford.
Yeah, the only one who's been able to be consistent to play to his game has been Raynaud and Brandon Angel.
Here's Brandon Angel. Finds Kanan Carlisle. And a 3 at the end of the shot clock by Kanan Carlisle.
Johnson has been doing a lot of hacking. He pushed him at the knees right there. Let's say it's a lot of cute fouling that he's getting away with. A little handsy.
And Keon Brooks draws contact from Brandon Angel. Other games in the Pac-12 tonight. Mentioned the tight one at Pauley between UCLA and Colorado. Cal is over in Pullman taking on Washington State. Coming up later, Utah is in LA taking on USC.
Meaningful games, Rocks. This is the time of year right before that push towards senior day, towards March Madness, towards the tournament. These are meaningful games.
Spencer Jones, the rebound last night. Arizona State on their home floor took care of Oregon State. And the Sun Devils now won 2 in a row. Stojakovic gets inside and 1 for Andre Stojakovic. And the foul is on Corin Johnson.
Well, he's got scoring instincts where you would think he's just a 3-point shooter. He can dial his own number up off the dribble. Watch at the 3-point line. So he shows the ball 1, 2, 3 dribbles, and then coming in, Johnson finally got called for a hack. He's been doing that all game.
Stojakovic for the and 1 free throw. The freshman from Carmichael in the suburbs of Sacramento, where his dad was a former standout with the Kings. Was a 3-time All-Star. 2-time 3-point champ at the All-Star game. And he won an NBA title back in 2011, so you can compare your ring with Paige.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the club. Roxy, you got a ring too. You're a ring of honor. You're the ring master.
Wheeler and his shot blocked by Spencer Jones. Brandon Angel attacks in transition, blocked by Moses Wood.
Great job of defending.
Corin Johnson. Why not? Career high 27 for Corin Johnson.
And all of them meaningful. What a night to remember for this young man. He has been a difference maker for his teammates. Offense.
And it's on Kanan Carlisle.
Offensive foul on Stanford's number 3, Kanan Carlisle. His second foul.
Second on Carlisle, but Corin Johnson draws the charge. Corin Johnson averages 8.5 points a game. He's got 27 tonight. 5 threes.
Well, he's turned the rhythm. He's turned the water on and hadn't turned it off. One that started with good shots, then an open transition. Once a young man, once a basketball player at any level has his confidence going, there's a multiplying effect.
And even his misses almost go in. And a tie-up, it belongs to Stanford.
Corin Johnson right here from Seattle, playing in front of the hometown, home crowd. Night to remember. You just want to keep this going, let the ball keep finding him.
He's been dealing with a shoulder issue a lot of this season.
This performance takes you way back to an Eddie House. Remember Eddie?
Believe me, I remember Eddie. Transition, here comes Keelan Brooks. Phenomenal second half for Washington and a disastrous second half for Stanford. Knocked away from Kanan Carlisle. Again, here come the Huskies. Moses Wood.
Right now, that's a good timeout. This crowd is going nuts, Roxy.
It is all Washington here in the second half. The Huskies are pulling away. Blockbuster, Kentucky and Auburn. Coming up in the Plains on Saturday, and some great games on our Saturday slate. I love that Auburn team, though. Bruce Pearl's team. They're deep. They play their tails off.
Yeah, play together.
They play together. They got size. They got athleticism. They're physical. Can't overlook, of course, Kansas, Oklahoma.
Well, I think
coming up on
Kansas is at
Saturday.
risk with this one. Kansas, the teams have been knocking them off on the road.
Well, the Big 12 has been such a gauntlet.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Look at the double team now. That's what the Huskies have been doing. Remember, they've been playing zone, but this year they went, that's travel. They went to a man-to-man and they double teamed the post. That started with good defense.
And that's been the story. Yes, Washington's been explosive offensively, Adrian, but the Huskies, Mike Hopkins' team holding Stanford to 30% shooting in the second half.
Commitment to defense. Now, Rox, tell us that the stat line is something incredible. There have been 5 to 7 games where they've lost. They haven't been able to close it out.
Well, the game's decided by 5 points or less. Washington is 4-7 in those games. They played a lot of close games. And Stanford continues their struggles here in the second half as Andrej Stojakovic throws it away.
Yeah, and that's been the challenge, though. Washington has gotten right there, but they hadn't been able, if it was football, get it in the red zone. They hadn't been able to get it into the end zone. This game, if they continue, I don't like to call games yet, but if they continue the way they played, they're putting themselves in a position to get a sweet win at home. Nice pass.
Wilhelm Breidenbach with the land.
I'm thinking about the 1980s saying when I was in college, way back before cell phones, Ross. Here's another fast break.
Come on. Wow. Keon Brooks Jr. He's got 20.
And his 4th dunk, and all of them are highlights. Now for Stanford, you want to finish out. You don't want to give them any more highlights.
Stanford's turned it over 11 times in the second half. Brandon Angel +1.
But Rox, this reminds me of back in the 80s. My coach would say the harder you work, the luckier you get. And what it meant is you help yourself. Look at this dunk, 4th highlight dunk. Boy, this young man plays above the rim, Rox.
Sunday on ABC, the #1 ranked South Carolina women. The nation's only unbeaten Division I team hosting Georgia. Coming up at 1 Eastern, the College Game Day crew tips off our coverage from Columbia beginning at noon. And the #1 South Carolina and Georgia from Columbia. College Game Day presented by State Farm.
What a proud performance for the home team. The Washington Huskies have come out in the second half, and this has been the difference. It's been all Huskies helping themselves to fast break points, highlight dunks, defending and running out.
And this was a 2-point game at the half. And it was that three right before the horn by Koren Johnson that seemed to have a big momentum push and a carryover for Washington into the second half.
Well, and then they started out in that first half with their leading scorer, Keon Brooks, coming out, knocking down a sweet jumper. And once he got going, and then Johnson, he's been a secret weapon who's no secret at all. He's been a difference maker.
What a night for Koren Johnson. Career high 27 for the sophomore from right here in Seattle. And he'd been struggling coming in. He'd been in double figures in one of the last 8 games after getting off to a good start to begin the year. Andre Stojakovic glides in.
Great job moving without the basketball. If I'm scouting Andre, I'm seeing that this young man can score the three-pointer, get it off the dribble, or move without the ball. But again, the story in this game has been that young man with the basketball controlling the flow of the game.
Wilhelm Breidenbach, 3.
Nothing the matter with that three-point shot. High release form, smooth.
Koren Johnson a steal. He'll pull up in transition. 3! 30 for Koren Johnson. Boy, Mike Hopkins wants to bottle this up tonight.
Absolutely. Bottle it up for the rest of the season. You hear the crowd calling his name, Rox. Koren Johnson. Watch that, step into it. Nice, easy shot. 30 easy. The more he scores, the easier it gets.
And now he'll lead to a standing O.
Well deserved. I said, acknowledge the crowd. Veteran coach, Coach Hopkins.
Career high 30 for Koren Johnson as Michael Jones buries a 3 for Stanford. Final minute. So the Huskies are going to go to 14-11, 6-8 in league play. Stanford will fall to 7-7 in the conference, and 500 overall on the year as three-pointer missed by Anthony Holland, and Brandon Angel outlets for Stanford. Andre Stojakovic, and Paul Mulcahy runs it down for Washington. And a timeout for Mike Hopkins just to get some subs and get some guys in off the bench. As Sam Slutsky, a walk-on, checks in for UW.
Rox, you just said, I know Coach Hopkins would love to be able to bottle this performance up. They did everything the coach requested, playing together in the second half, playing with the lead.
And also in for Washington, Will Landrum, a redshirt freshman, checking in for the first time. But now the Huskies will just milk it down. They can't take it all the way down. There's a 3-second differential. But strong second half, not just from Koren Johnson, but Keon Brooks, who dealt with fouls in the first half. Will finish with 20, but a new career high of 30 for Koren Johnson, and his second half dominated by the Huskies. And Koren Johnson, that guy, memorable night for Koren Johnson.